Fitzgerald is out as the head coach at Northwestern football. A whole lot going on there, a whole lot of hazing that's been going on, as they said, for like a number of few years, decade plus. They found no evidence that could say that he knew about it, but the president of the school basically said, just upon further review, there's no way he should not know about it. What's going on with his campus and everything. And so you see the different quotes and all that stuff there of what's taking place. Sexual acts, degrading nature were part of the hazing, and just a very dangerous and not healthy culture. There was also some allegations of racist culture as well on that campus. And so a lot going on. So we definitely want to touch on it. And Rashad, I'm gonna start with you. What's your take? What's your feeling on it?
Man, I was surprised that when this came out, I didn't even know this scandal was going on. Honestly, it's not it's not as bad, but it's still bad in a sense. It reminds me a lot of Penn State and Joe Paterno and that whole situation. We didn't see that coming. Nobody saw that coming out of Penn State, and just like I didn't see that coming out of Northwestern whatsoever. These are high academic institutions, very buttoned up institutions. Rich history. So I mean, rich conference within a Big Ten. So I just didn't expect that. Unfortunately, Fitzgerald got let go, but they kept the assistant coaches, which kind of raised an eyebrow to me because you let the head coach go, but you keep all his assistants there. So I wonder if there is any kind of any kind of vindictive kind of act going on behind Fitzgerald's back as far as them trying to get him fired and get him pushed out. So they kind of put him as the face of this. You know what I'm saying? To try to get him pushed out and try to get somebody else they truly wanted in that position as well. So I don't know, man. It's unfortunate for that program. I wish them the best. I wish Fitzgerald, his family, the best. But you feel for the kids, most importantly.
Yeah, they said they're going to implement hazing and just like policies for all the coaches, all the players, like
Right.
throughout the entire campus. So, and basically, like when I was reading the article, the president said there's just no way you don't know about something like this going on
Right.
in your campus
Facts.
for multiple
Facts.
years as a head coach. So,
Facts.
Czar, we'll go to you next.
Hold on, Mondo says there's no way the head coach didn't know what was going on. He doesn't buy it one bit.
We're not gonna be interrupting for Mondo because he be out here taking shots. So like, I mean,
You feel what I'm saying? Nah, I mean, Rashad said it, and like I said, it does hit home. And I kind of joke like, man, they're gonna it's a joke, but they're gonna let us off the hook. Like now
Right.
everyone
Right.
remembers that. Now we got
Mhm.
this. Like
Right.
it's another black eye for the Big Ten, which is obviously my conference in both
Right.
and
Hell,
basketball.
Czar is gonna be my conference next year too. So yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just crazy. I'm just curious, like what schools haven't been caught doing this and doing that, and it's like the cover-ups, man. Is now I'm like, dude, and I know we got the NIL now, but it's like now, dude, that give the Miami Hurricanes that joke about USC, like all that don't even seem like nothing. Giving players money to the stuff that's going on, that's the real situation. And like I said, they're not a football program, but still, you feel bad for the boys that are there because it's not a big program. So now, they barely looked at as is. Now it's like now they coming with a brand new coach. Like you said, they still got the assistants, which just kind of raises an eyeball. But it's Northwestern, so
yeah,
right.
Well, and who knows what the new head coach will do if he would keep those assistants or not. So I mean, so that could be a possibility as well. Go ahead, PSP.
Honestly, when I heard the news, like I had no idea what was going on. But once I started reading the article from ESPN, like the president, the head coach had to know. He had to know something had to happen. It's really unfortunate, for the players. It's really sad because again, it's 2023 and still this stuff is happening. So imagine what's going to happen if this is happening in Northwestern. What's going to happen to a lot of other universities or campuses with this type of situation is very unfortunate. You just hope that the players are okay, everyone else is okay, and this is really sad. It's really unfortunate. That's all I'm gonna leave it at.
Yeah. Mondo, these are not polka dots. These are squares. Get it right, player. Go ahead, Jay Will.
I'm gonna just piggyback on what PSB said, man. It's just a sad situation all the way around. Dude, the coach is very well respected, and I don't know. You just never want to see anything like this happen. So hopefully they can get their shit together.
I knew you was going to say that. Go ahead, Justin.
Not to seem too desensitized, but another day, another scandal. I mean, shoot, I'm just waiting for Dave Chappelle to drop a special. But I mean, that's what's gonna happen, man. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how they figured this whole thing out. I'm looking it up on my phone to see who blew the whistle. Did someone say something? Now,
Oh yeah, no. So what happened was there were rumors about it, and so from the school newspaper had heard things about it, passed it on to a private investigator who I think used to go to Illinois, and then she started doing the private investigating and all of this a couple of years ago.
and I think that's ironic because I've heard of like college, university newspapers blowing whistles on their own institution, and then ultimately it messes the bread up for the whole school. But that's interesting. But this is the year where they tear the veil, and now we see what's going on in these institutions and whatnot. So sorry for the victims. Shout out to y'all. I don't blame the victims at all. But Rashad said a good point. Like, they kept the head coach. He was like the face of the whole thing, and for being blamed. And I think that's very interesting to liken it with Joe Paterno, and we saw how he died right after that whole situation. So it's a lot to muster up. But another day, another scandal, man.
Yeah, Dennis.
What's up? We talk about the racist coach in Northwestern, but they kept the other racist coaches, as my man Chad said. That's what we're gonna talk about. Y'all said a lot about it. It ain't too much more I can say. I just know when it happened to somebody else, they got rid of everybody else. That's the only thing I do know.
Right.
I know if he was black and he said something racist, and his staff was black, they all would be gone.
Right.
I know that for sure.
He called Justin Mike Epps.
I know that for sure.
Oh, I guess so.
Josh, you got anything?
That's what Green Bay did to Ray Rhodes and his staff. Oh, that's it.
It's crazy because didn't they say it's like 11 people came out, but only like one person. So yeah, it's bad that because they was trying to say Hazing brought team camaraderie and stuff like that, but I think this went too far. You know what I'm saying? Like they was blindfolding people.
Yeah, a little bit of hazing, not no fucking crazy ass hazing.
Right. This went over the top. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a bad look for Northwestern because they was garbage anyway, right? So it's like I don't know who's gonna want to come there now.
Yeah, and, I mean it's a high academic school, so I mean Czar know like they're up there with the best of them. Academically, yeah, for sure.
Athletically, no.
Yeah, they said they won like 1-11 last year.
They had a good basketball team, though.
Well,
yeah, they did.
I mean, in his tenure there, he won like 5 ball games. Like they had 3 10-win seasons. I mean, I know for the women's lacrosse team just won the national championship for Northwestern.
The basketball team had one of their best seasons last year too.
Yeah,
so it's there, and I know they've been coming. They last couple of years they shocked a couple of people. Honestly, when I was reading this and diving into this, the thing that it brought up for me though was like, where are them John Gruden emails? Like we still ain't got them emails.
Right, you never will.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
you never will get them.
I know we never will, but I'm just saying it's so nice how people can just make things disappear. We had all the stuff with Daniel Snyder.
Oh
And then
my
this
God.
also
Lord
made me
mercy.
think about the whole thing with a couple years ago when these celebrities were paying people to have their kids go to school and be on teams but not do anything.
Right.
And so all of that stuff just started, like Dennis said, another day, another scandal. So
But
it's
to
all of that stuff
Rashad's
is
point,
there.
the Big Ten. I mean, the Penn State situation, then Ohio State with Urban Meyer with his
Yeah,
situation,
you got
with
competition, baby.
Zach Taylor, and then now this.
I'm here.
So is it what coincidence with the Big Ten when it comes to situations like this?
I mean,
Yeah.
you could say that. I mean, yeah, but you could say the same thing for the SEC. You know what I'm saying?
Ricky
You can say
Bobby.
the same thing. You can say the same thing about a lot of conferences. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, to me, it's just, it just comes down to right is right and wrong is wrong. And unfortunately, it has put a black eye on the Big Ten with another scandal like this that is relatively similar to the Penn State scandal, and we know how that felt after Paterno died and the aftermath of that. So to see Fitzgerald go out like that, that's horrible because he's an alumnus from he played at Northwestern.
But
So
I
for
don't
him to
He's a Hall
go
of Famer.
I
He's a
don't
Hall of
understand
Famer.
why
right.
he goes, but the assistant coaches they remain.
Right. And
Right.
and that's why I say to me there has to be some kind of vindictive behavior in the as far as the presidents or whoever is over the board. They probably want Fitzgerald out, and they probably want their guy in or whomever in. So somebody's getting paid off. Obviously, somebody's been getting paid off, as we see for years now at that program. So it'll just be interesting to see what else trickles down from Fitzgerald getting fired at Northwestern.
So
Well,
it's not even about the
and who
victims at
knows?
that
Oh,
point.
go ahead, Justin. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
My bad. It's so what Rashad is saying. It's not even about the victims at that point because
Right.
they're gonna get whoever they want in. So
Right.
that's why it comes off as like being desensitized. I'm sorry
Yeah.
for the victims,
hmm
but this junk keeps happening, and until like something really gets blown up, it's gonna keep happening. So
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's similar. I mean, when you go back to Michigan State and their gymnastics team with all of that
hmm
stuff that was happening and everything, and it's like the reform doesn't come because this country is often like, oh, well, that was them over there. So
Right.
like just that was them over there instead of making a sweeping change. You see, they made an NIL when they're like, okay, we got to get these people in here and get them their money. But it's like when you actually taking care of the people, that's when you really don't want to care that much. So it's always a dangerous thing. And then also I'm thinking, like, to your point, maybe Rashad, maybe them assistant coaches was the ones who like gave up some more information so they didn't get the boot.
Right.
So,
hmm
I think
I
this is
agree.
Ricky Bobby,
I
right?
agree.
Dennis. I guess Ricky Bobby, Robbie Randall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just asked me for the.
All right, so he said need to just clean house, otherwise it has a sorry we got caught vibe.
yeah, so
Right.
it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward. So as we move forward,